Hi guys, welcome to the next edition of Unplugged. I'm making this video much quicker than I thought I was going to because I didn't think I was going to be doing this for probably another 2 or 3 weeks. But after the weekend of test driving the cars, I decided to go ahead and buy one. I'm sure you can probably tell from my last video I was more interested in the MG. So on Monday I phoned up Ben at Seaford MG and yeah, stuck my order in because I'm just dying to get into one. So I thought maybe I'll go through the reasons why I chose the MG. Um, Basically, I only really had the budget for a small electric car. I could only really afford the Peugeot E208 Zoe, probably the Corsa E. But the main reason I went for the MG was mainly because of its size. Because I'm sure you recall in my last video, I said it wasn't until I went out in the E2008, Peugeot E2008, that I really realised how important the size of the car was. Um, I'm currently driving an Astra, so yeah, I think I needed something that was either that size or larger. So yeah, I've decided to opt for the exclusive model because the kit that comes on the car I think is quite impressive. I mean, you get things like a reversing camera, rain sensitive wipers, auto headlights, and assisted high beam. Those kind of features I've actually already got on my Astra, and they're things that I didn't really want to lose. So I just thought, yeah, the MG is ticking all the boxes. Plus, also when you came to like specifying like the equipment on, or like the specification on the Zoe or the Peugeot or whatever, you had to pay for the ability to rapid charge. I think on the Zoe it was like £500 or £750, which I think is a bit of a joke. On the ZS EV, that's included. Also, I fell in love with the panoramic roof. I first saw that in the Peugeot E2008, and I was like, oh, this is definitely something that I need in my life. And the ZS EV has that as well. But on the Peugeot, it had a cover that you could pull forwards to obviously block out the sun. And on the MG, whilst it's more of a shade rather than like a solid cover, um, it's electric. You push a button and the shade will automatically close for you or open for you. I thought that was quite impressive. Also, something else, and this is actually something that I miss on my previous car to Astra. I used to have a Ford Fiesta, and that had keyless entry, which I thought was brilliant. But when you either locked or unlocked the car, the mirrors would fold in and out. The MG does that. My Astra doesn't. Why? Why would you not? If you've got the ability to have electric folding mirrors, why not link it to the key and then just have an option in the menu to disable it if you don't want the mirrors to fold in when you lock and unlock the car? I don't know. It also comes with, well, they're not leather. I would say they're probably like leatherette or pleather. Maybe it's vegan leather. I don't know. I prefer leatherette seats to cloth seats because you know what it's like. If you're going on a bit of a drive, you might want a snack. I don't know about you, I like chocolate. And when you have a flake or something, it just crumbles. And then before you know it, it's all melted into the seat. So the good thing with leather is at least you can wipe that clean so you can keep the condition of the interior as nice as possible. Like I say, the price, I was absolutely astounded by the price. It worked out to be cheaper than the Zoe and the E208. So yeah, it just kind of made sense. And also the fact that the MG comes with a 7-year warranty. I know like Kia and oh, what's the other brand? Hyundai. I'm sure they do 7-year warranties, which I think is brilliant because for me, I probably won't even have the car for 7 years, so it's going to be covered all the time that I'll own it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not all excellent about the MG. I can definitely see some of its negatives. Well, I say negatives. Like when you look at the styling, I think it's quite generic. I really like Peugeot's styling. I fell in love with the way that looked, but ultimately I couldn't afford it. Or I couldn't afford the E2008. So that's just something I'm prepared to forgo. But actually, when you do look at the ZS, I don't know about you, but I think it looks like a Mazda CX-5 a bit. I don't think that's like, I think that's a fairly inoffensive car. Just quite generic. Also, when I'd looked up things online about the MG, quite a lot of people had complained. I mean, even the salesman there said to me, if you look up this car, the only real negative review that it has is that the car bongs to let you know what it is or isn't doing. Well, they did this thing called a Comfort 2 update, and all the bongs have been cleared. So now you get in, it doesn't bong at you to tell you what it is and isn't doing, which, whilst I haven't experienced that, I'm sure that probably is quite annoying. I'm sure that's something that would really annoy me. But actually going on to things that I feel like I'm missing compared to other EVs is the fact that it doesn't have an app, so I can't preheat the car, I can't pre-cool the car, I can't see its charge status, things like that. But then when I thought about that, I don't know whether that's something that I would use, because excuse me, they're not things that I've currently got, so you can't really miss something if you haven't got it anyway. But I'm sure if maybe I was going from an EV that did have it to one that doesn't, you probably do miss it. Also, something else that I thought was quite strange was the fact it doesn't have climate control. It's got air conditioning, but you have to manually set the fan speed and things like that. The trouble is now I'm kind of like trying to find arguments for all of the negative things about it, but maybe I wouldn't use the air conditioning so much. I'd be more inclined to open the panoramic roof, as it's got that lovely feature. That said, I'm sure on a boiling hot day, I'll put the aircon on. I like to feel comfortable. Obviously, when you compare it to other cars, the range is quite small. I think it's like 163 miles. But I don't know about you, I don't really ever drive 163 miles in one go. Don't get me wrong, I could easily do it over the course of a day if I was maybe going to IKEA, then to my parents, and then to my house or whatever. But I know I'd be stopping somewhere, so I could plug it in and charge it. So yeah, for me, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. It doesn't have a heated steering wheel. That's something my Astra does have. I don't know how much I'll miss that. Watch this space on that. Also, the interior definitely does feel like lower quality compared to I don't know. No, yeah, I would say it probably does feel lower quality compared to even probably my Astra, but I don't know. I suppose if they use thin brittle plastics, maybe that makes it lighter. Yep, we'll go with that. We'll say that that's a good argument. But also, actually, there is this other thing. Obviously, I don't know if this is going to annoy me, but I think it will. The charging flap, the way it's designed, it's behind the MG badge, and I don't know if you click it or pull something or whatever, and it basically lifts up and towards you, and then it obscures the charge port, so you kind of have to like bend down to look to see, to obviously locate the charger and the charge port. I'm probably going to mount a light or something outside my house, so I don't think that'd be an issue, but who knows? Spool forward 6 months when it's teaming it down with rain, and I'm trying to put the cable into the charge port, I'll probably be coming back saying, I hate it, I want to get rid of it. But no, I don't know. Also, something else, it doesn't have full LED headlights, which I was quite surprised about. I said to the salesman, I was like, oh, does it have LED lights? He was like, yeah, LED, like daytime running lights. And I was like, no, like headlights. They looked halogen, they looked like halogen headlights to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why when you're designing an EV you wouldn't give it LED headlights. Surely they're more power efficient, but who knows? I must say that was actually something I really did like. The dealer, Ben, the guy that I spoke to at MG Seafood, he was really nice and he was quite honest, like I say, about the bongs. That was the only negative really about the car. Don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting him to tell me everything that's bad about the car. But he gave me plenty of time. I said to him, "Can I just sit in the car and twiddle around with things?" And he was like, "Yeah, like basically like do whatever you want." Um, so yeah, I think this car's going to suit my lifestyle quite well. Like I say, mainly the main reason is the size of it. For me, my partner, we're just like a one car household. We only have one car. We only need one car. So space is kind of paramount for us because we will often. Well, I say we often. Sometimes, occasionally, we go out on our bikes. So we throw them in the back of the car and go to, I don't know, like Water or somewhere like that. So if we had the Zoe or the E208, probably wouldn't have been able to have got them in there. Maybe we could have put the seats forward a bit. I don't know. It just would have been a bit of an uncomfortable drive. But yeah, it's nice to have that size. Also, you know what it's like when you go to B&Q? You always buy tons and tons of stuff, and then you get it out to the car and you think, oh God, how's this all going to fit? So, yeah, I think the larger size is definitely going to suit us. Also, my sister lives maybe about 10 minutes up the road from me, but my mum, dad, and my younger sister, they all live a best part of an hour away. So sometimes me, my partner, and my sister will go to my parents' house. So 3 of us travelling in a larger car, I think, would be a bit more comfortable. So, yeah, I think it's going to be good. Let's just delve into like the price a bit, because as I was talking to the dealer about what they could offer me for my car and things like that, I was astounded by how affordable this became. Just cast your mind back to when I went to Renault, took out the Zoe. That worked out about £350 a month. The Peugeot E208 worked out similar price, about 250, 260 a month. 250, 350, 360 a month. And the E2008, the one that I really liked, was the best part of 500 quid a month. I couldn't really afford that. I'd set my budget at 350. So I really needed to stick to that. So I've actually got the breakdown of what it came to. So basically, the car costs £31,690. And with using my car as a deposit, they said they'd give me £6,000 for my car. Their deposit contribution, so MG's deposit contribution, was 2,500. That was far greater than Renault and Peugeot. Renault and Peugeot's deposit contributions were literally just like a few £100s. Also, I know every brand new EV gets this, but you get the £3,000 from the government grant. So after all of those deductions, it actually only meant I'd need to pay £20,190. That's still a lot of money. But split that out over 48 months, and the payments come in at £291.49 a month, which is cheaper than everything else that I'd been and seen. Also, at the end of the 4 months, end of the 4 years, like with all of the other cars I saw, there's a balloon payment. This is far less. It's only £9,095. Whereas the others were sort of like 12, 13, 14, 15 grand. So, yeah, I can't believe the value for money. And then when you take into consideration, this is another way I kind of sold it to myself, was currently on my Astra, I'm paying Vauxhall, well, actually it's not Vauxhall, it's like third party, for a service plan, and that's like £33 a month I think I'm paying. So, oh, something else, actually, no, let's go back. I'll carry on what I was saying. So I'm currently paying £33 a month for a service plan. I think I'll probably save anywhere in the region of about 50 quid a month on fuel. So take that £80 off the payment. It actually only means that I'm paying just over 210 quid a month, which I just think is brilliant for a brand new car. I've never had a brand new car, so yeah, sold. Oh, and that was also in red. They had it in 4 colour options. White, I think that was free. If you wanted it in black or blue, that was a few hundred quid. And the red was the most expensive, but in my opinion, the red looks lovely. But another selling point to the MG was he said that they'd just released this thing called their Peace of Mind Promise. So you get a service plan included in your payments for the first 3 years or 45,000 miles. You get 12 months roadside assistance, which renews after each service they carry out. So effectively 3 years of roadside assistance. You get an MG branded Type 2 charging cable. Well, that's not bad to have. And like all other EVs, you get a free home charger. So that wasn't really a selling point for me because I knew I'd probably get that anyway. But yeah, I think that's brilliant. So I was kind of, basically it sold it to me on Saturday, but I didn't want to go and make like a rash decision because I can be quite impulsive. So I thought about it, and yeah, on Monday I placed the order, which was quite good. I say on Monday was only yesterday. Just other things that I really liked about the car. Now this is like this is more subjective. I don't think this is going to be necessarily something that is a draw for other people, but to select the gear, you've got like a knob that you rotate. I much preferred that to the gear shifter or gear lever, whatever you want to call it. I just think it makes the interior just look that bit nicer. I like the higher seating position, like I say, the large boot. Also, it's got a split level floor, so you can put the charging cable, or I intend to keep the charging cable under the boot floor. And I've actually been in communication with the company that's going to be installing my wallbox charger, and I really want like or I've specified that I'd like a tethered charger, so I can keep the one that comes with the car in the boot and just use that for when I'm out and about, because the last thing I want to do is leave the charging cable at home, be out and think I don't actually have the cable to charge the car. So yeah. Also something else that I really liked, so their regen button, they call it KERS. I think it's something to do with Formula One. I'm not really sure, but it's basically got 3 levels. Like one, well, you can turn. I think you can turn it off, and then as you get up, like 1, 2, up to level 3. 3 is the most aggressive regen. The regen is level 3 by default. So every time you switch on the car, it applies level 3 brake regen, which I think is brilliant, because in all of the other cars that I drove, I say all the other cars, in the 3 other cars that I drove, you had to select B mode. Now for me, I don't know why you wouldn't select B mode, why you wouldn't want the car to regen as aggressively as possible. Maybe there's a reason behind that, and just the fact that I haven't lived with it, I don't know. Also, I thought the MG felt a little bit more sprightly than the E208. Don't get me wrong, they're all quick off the mark, but the power just seemed that little bit more instant, which I quite liked. Yeah, I just think it's great. There are some other things that I don't know whether these will like grind my gears or not, but the driver's window, that's one touch up and down, which is brilliant. That's what I've currently got. But all of the other 3 windows, I think they had one touch down, but you had to hold the button on the way up. I don't know. Who knows if that's going to annoy me or not. But yeah, and also the interior style, like the infotainment system, I think it looks just like my car, which I think it was fine 4 years ago. It's starting to look a little bit dated now. I'm not the biggest fan of like this faux stitching that's on the dashboard. Well, I say it's faux stitching. I think it's faux stitching on the dashboard. I think that doesn't look that great. But then can't really grumble, because I think the price of the car for what you're getting is actually pretty outstanding. So, like, basically, when I break it down into a summary, for me, as like a one car household, I was reluctant to kind of give up the space that my current car offers me, hence why I want the MG. It can swallow 2 bikes, I'm sure, quite easily. If I want to do a tip run, I'll get a good amount of rubbish in. Also, I can be quite impulsive. I can be like, oh, I need to like get my flat pack fixed, so I'll shoot off to IKEA and buy a sideboard. I'm sure it will swallow that. And like I say, when you compare it to cars of its price, I think it's got them beat. Obviously, when you look at like its rivals in terms of the size, whilst the car's cheaper, you definitely get a lot more if you're prepared to spend more. So if you think about like the Kia e-Niro or the Hyundai Kona, they are more expensive, but then you get more for it. You get a greater range. I'm sure the build quality is a bit better or much better. So I'm not saying that it's not faultless, because I can very much see that this car does have faults, but nothing's perfect, is it? So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Also, another thing that I did notice was every EV that I've driven has a digital display where like the speedometer is. In the MG, it's got traditional dials. I'm not really that fussed about that. Don't get me wrong, I think a digital display looks modern, but it's like a stepping stone for me transitioning over from a conventional diesel petrol car. The fact that I'll be getting in like a new powertrain, a new power, like the way the power's delivered, things like that. It's not changing too much in one go. Like, it looks like just a regular car. It's not really out there and digital and completely different. It looks fairly standard, quite like unintimidating, if that's a word. It's not intimidating. Yeah, so that's it really. Obviously there's nothing really to update because I haven't driven it for all that long. I've only driven it for about 20 minutes. So roll on Friday when I collect it. So yeah, there will definitely be more videos of Unplugged. Mia Unplugged. Oh, by the way, do you like my new logo down at the bottom left? It took me 15 minutes. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's it for today. Catch me in the next one. See ya.